You like it? New year, new me. It's August. Hey, my name is Emily. I'm a Littlest Pet Shop and doll customizer, and today we are going to be making a Snotter. Yeah. Welcome to Horrific Head Swaps, where I take a head from a Littlest Pet Shop and put it onto the body of another and see if I can successfully make it cute. In the past, I've worked with a cat head on an ant body, a horse head on a ferret body, and for the third episode today we are working on a otter head on a snail body. I tried doing a ferret head and snail body combo when I first started getting back into customizing, but never really went through with it. I usually randomize my head swap combos, but when I saw Milky Minx on Instagram do the otter and snail combo, I knew that I had to make my very own Snotter. This is the design that I came up with. I wanted to go for something foresty and whimsical. She has little flower sprouts as antennae and sculpted paws. I wanted to try to make her fluffier with the painting, so that'll be a new technique for me to try to figure out. But before we start getting into things, I want to say a quick word from today's sponsor, Unveil. I just recently had a scare when I realized that all the art of my OCs was just scrambled up in my iPad and isn't organized in the slightest. And then I heard about Unveil, a website where you can upload art of and keep track of all of your original characters in one place. It's super easy to post your character, plug in all the details about them, and then categorize them into the world they're from and add in all of their lore. It's a really cool, kind community of artists that just want to share their characters and worlds and also make their OCs kiss. It's completely free to use and great for artists, writers, and storytellers alike. And get this, okay? It is completely free of any AI slop and NFTs. It is a safe space to share your art and find new artist friends. I personally like the ability to add specific traits to your characters, and the question of the day function is so fun and hilarious. It has never been easier to world build for your OCs with Unveil. Click the link in my description to sign up for free. I really appreciate it, and thank you to Unveil. We will be starting by killing this LPS with a hairdryer. Warming up the plastic just makes it a lot easier to kind of wiggle her head off of her body. Kind of gruesome, now that I think about it. I actually did some work to remove the old rust residue inside of the snail's neck. I just kind of cut it out with an X-Acto knife. I am using 100% acetone to remove the old dry brushing that I did on the snail because I just want like a super duper fresh start, and then scrub-a-dub-dub acetone all over his body. It stings so much! I try to take off as much as I can because it can get pretty sticky and gross. The otter didn't have much to remove because G7 eyes are silly and stubborn, and did I mention very silly and very stubborn? No? Oh, they are. I then go in with Pointy Hook and get all of the caked on bits of paint from the snail's bod. This snail was actually released in 2010, so the paint has been on there for quite a while. And I don't normally do this because the copyright text is usually embossed on the belly, but since it was more visible on the side of the slug slime, I kind of wanted to sand it off so that you wouldn't be able to see it under the paint. This is what he looked like before. He was definitely loved by his last owner, I'll say that. I promised myself I could have coffee number 2 after I finish this. I want to give this man's body a new life. I seem to forget every time that putting a Generation 7 LPS head onto an older generation Littlest Pet Shop body is quite a headache. The neck peg is too big and just doesn't sit quite right. I tried to force it on, but to no prevail. To do the antenna, I mark off where I want them to go because whatever ADHD I have always tells me to eyeball it and then they get a little wonky, so forcing myself to do it with a pencil. And I really like using eye pins instead of wire for this. I find they're the perfect gauge for an armature and they pierce the plastic really, really well. Also, look at my son. Pride is not the word I'm looking for. I take the eye pin and give it an old bendaroo to make it curve up slightly. This is optional, I just kind of like how it looks. I found that using my little pen holder from Muji helped give it a more consistent bend, so I'll be using this from now on to bend wire. I just heat up the eye pin and poke it into the mark spots on the forehead. A lot of people ask me why I don't use a heat gun for this, and I have a couple answers. Number 1, the concept of a heat gun scares me. Technically, I dry my hair with a heat gun. That's different. 2, I have candles and a lighter already, so waste not, want not. And 3, candle cute and cozy. I then trim the wire with scissors to get it to the perfect length. And then I pose them how I want and glue them in place with a little bit of super glue. If you're enjoying the video so far and like hanging out with me, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a bunch and it makes it so that we can hang out together more often, have a sleepover, bring our LPS and make them kiss and stuff. I take a nail file and sand the sides of her face cheeks and anywhere where clay will be added. This will help the sculpted tufts of fur stick a little bit better to the plastic since we're not using any self-adhesive clay. I'm trying a new technique where I add a little bit of super glue onto the pet and then layer the clay on top of it and then kind of blend it in. And let me tell you that this is a game changer. I hate using self-adhering clay. Think anything air dry, epoxy resin based, etc. You should be using gloves when handling any resin-based clays, and I find that sculpting with gloves is darn near impossible for me, folks. So I use oven-baked clay, and when I want to do a new section of sculpting, I bake it to quick save, and then keep doing more. I also have zero patience, so it's really nice to be able to continue working immediately after sculpting. For the tufts of fur, I start with a teardrop kind of shape and then blend the base into the plastic. Using a flat rubber sculpting tool can get it super flat and seamless. I feel like when other people do this, it looks really cool, and then whenever I do it, they look like Wolverine. Wait! I popped off! I'll be using green stuff epoxy-based clay to do the little flowers on top of her antenna. I know I just said I hate it, but epoxy is a lot stronger and sturdier than polymer clay, and for little tiny bits that are just held on by like a little metal thread, I trust green stuff a lot more than polymer clay. Now we're going to work on the legs on the snail bod. For the little front paws on the Snotter, I thought that adding in an armature or skeleton would be a really good idea to keep the structure sound. I'm a little bit worried for the body. I've never sculpted arms before. I sculpted back legs on seafoam, but I do kind of want to follow the Littlest Pet Shop kind of style. So we're gonna try that. I was hoping this armature could help. But something is telling me I just need to like glue them on. Like, I'm sure, but I'm also not really that sure at all. I got this idea from LPS and Lattes on Instagram, or Sarah, who is really lovely and makes some really beautiful LPS customs. She's been focusing on Persian cats lately, and that collection has just been stunning. She sculpts 3D toe beans on all of her customs, and it is the cutest thing, so I wanted to try my hand at it. Just so you know, I know that otters don't have beans. I just wanted to give it beans. British people be like, give it beans. My jokes are not... Does this look like I took a bite out of it? Be honest. Does it look like I just like used my 2 front teeth and just like... I'm just gonna make a line here to show how far the head goes down. I worked on making the tufts and made sure that the clay started thin and got gradually thicker on the way down the neck so that the head could still bobble. I woke up the next day to start painting and realized that I wanted chunkier looking toes. So I went back in with a little bit more clay to chunk them up. I wanted this little girl to have the chunkiest, cutest little toes. And that I did. Today I have honey pear tea. It's really, really nice. I've been enjoying tea quite a bit lately. Really liking Harney & Sons London Fog, as well as their Earl Grey. I'm going to use a Mod Podge to cover the Palmer clay before painting to help with how porous it is, and it also helps make sure everything stays super stuck to the plastic. I was a bit of a silly Billy. I was, the silliest of Billies, and forgot to sand the imperfections in the clay down before adding Mod Podge, so make sure you do that. I get a bit of white and dry brush the body to prime her. To prep her body for the head, I used an epoxy-based clay inside the neck so that the peg would fit perfectly inside the head later on. Then I used off-white paint for her base. I love the way that the LPS looks when it's like completely white. It is just like so satisfying. I actually really enjoyed painting the head and body separate. I found that I could get a lot more detail underneath the neck, and I'm not just kind of like jamming my brush in there to try and fill it with color. And I was able to paint the bottom of the neck peg as well. One of life's greatest hacks is to put your paint inside of a Tupperware if you're bad at recreating the same color. And so that's usually what I tend to do. Normally I put it in the bottom of this Tupperware, but I just realized that I could actually just do this. And you're probably like, what's the difference? The difference is trying to dip into the paint all the way at the bottom. I'm constantly having people ask me how to get the paint smooth, and please just water down your paint. If you put the paint on straight from the bottle, it is going to be so thick and streaky. Just make sure that you are, adding just a little bit of water. I just use this like spray bottle just full of filtered water. I definitely need to start by blocking it out. I don't normally show the back in my sketches, so that's kind of where I get to just freestyle. I find one of the biggest things with painting customs, and people don't talk about this a lot, but it's how it works the best for me, is you can paint whatever you want, but as long as you like clean it up, that's the biggest thing. Because I paint a lot of bad stuff and then I just clean it up after. She looks kind of like a little forest sprite. I would love to actually do a video where I like redesign the fairy LPS, because the pre-existing ones, though the molds are really cool, I feel like they could be adjusted and fixed. I think that'd be really fun. Painting the texture was really fun, but also a bit weird. It took a lot of time to do, and it actually helps to use that off-white base and paint over top afterwards to kind of use the negative space to your advantage. I'm stressed out, I'm scared. I'm freaked out, I'm scared. Also, the channel just hit 400,000 subscribers. My channel is actually 11 and a half years old.
5,000 subscribers! Like, what?
So it's been quite the ride. But yeah, thanks to everyone who has stuck around, and it's been really lovely seeing all the new faces as well. It's really nice to see the channel growing again after taking a bit of a hiatus for a few years, and it's been really fun sharing my art with everybody, so thank you, I really appreciate it. I've had a lot of people on Instagram recently saying that they're watching my videos and like customizing alongside me, and it makes me really happy. It's so cool that people want to do their art with me, so please keep tagging me on stories or sending me pics in DM if you're watching while you paint or sculpt, because it just kind of makes me happy to see. If you have any questions about my process or anything, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer you. I'll try my best because there are a lot. Yeah, I was a bit unsure about the color scheme and then I added the pink and now I'm sure of it again. Oh, so gloopy. I love it. Yes. I'd love to hear what you want to see from me next. I'm sure you hear YouTubers like begging this all the time and being like, tell me what you want to hear down in the comments below. But since I've kind of swapped into more doll making videos and my audience is kind of a mix of new and old people, it would really help me to hear what you've been liking and not liking. And also my new sprites in the videos, my mascot reaction PNGs kind of I've been scattering around. Are they annoying? Are they cute? While waiting for the layers to dry, I just got some of my little guys together that all just sold, so I have to go downstairs and pack them. I then got some chalk pastels and decided to do an ombre pink on the shell. It kind of reminds me of like strawberry soft serve. I decided not to do the little dots on it because I thought that the whole custom might be too busy. Like, I think I want the fur to be the main event. I wish I had another snail custom so I could make like a cinnamon bun inspired shell with like glaze and everything. And like the glaze is like the sluggy slime part. Good morning. It is Friday, which means that I've been filming all week and it is time to do her eyes and watch a Germa VOD. I don't know if her shell needs the polka dots. I feel like I like how it looks like soft serve ice cream. I don't really know if it really needs it. I really like the tufties on this ear because they're more 3D. I think these aren't thick enough, so it's harder to see them. So something bad happened, and it's that all my paint dried for some reason. And there were parts of the brown that I really needed to go over again. Oh my god, there's secret brown underneath. Chat, there's secret brown underneath. Wait! For the record, you didn't hear me say secret brown. For the record. Here, I'm using a pencil to mark where I want her eyebrows to go. I just love eyebrows on characters. It gives them so much emotion and is like the cutest thing ever. And I made them fluffy as well. I love when animals have little eyebrows. Let's hope I can replicate it on the other side. For the eyes, I used a chocolate brown color and I love the way that the scalloped pupils look, so I did that as well. You know, I feel like I always have this pressure to make customs like better and better every time, and for this one I was just like, hey, I just want to make something that I'm like really excited to make, and I am like really proud of how she turned out. I think her colors are really cute. I kind of challenged myself with the fur texture and I really like it. I decided to actually add a bit of pink shading to her nose to match the shell, and then it also kind of helps give it a bit more depth. I want this to be my mascot. My mascot's so boring and it's not pink enough. It's literally a purple cat. It'd be kind of messed up, right? If I did my mascot's eyes with like a dark brown and then took the flower off her forehead and turned it into a little pink star and did her ears with like a really pretty peachy pink and then added like tufts of fur in her ears. I'll be using the Derwent Inktense watercolor pencil collection. Name ideas for her. My partner said she looks like mint chip ice cream, and then I realized that she looks like a Napoleon ice cream. No, that's not what it's called. Neapolitan. She looks like Neapolitan ice cream a little bit, but I also like her strawberry matcha vibes. Since she has brown, maybe calling her Hojicha. If you have any like fantasy or whimsical names, I would love to hear them because she does give very like Sprite wood forest energy. I'm using matte Mod Podge to varnish her. Oh my gosh, what if I used resin and like glossed the gloopy part? Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. For glazing the eyes, I just use like a gel nail varnish because it's a lot cheaper and easier than resin, especially for really small projects like this. And so I do her eyes, nose, and a bit of the gloopy mouth and the slug goo as well. I love her. I'm so happy. I'm very proud of myself, dare I say. Oh my goodness, look at that face. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!